Welcome back to Scouting Movies. Today we're going to be talking about um, a movie that confronts you with some really hard truths. We're talking about a movie today called Mississippi Burning. Um, so let's talk first of all what this movie's about. What's the synopsis? Set in 1964, Mississippi Burning is loosely based on the real life FBI investigation into the murders of three civil rights workers in the Deep South, in Mississippi, obviously. Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe play two FBI agents. One is a rough edged Southern bruiser, the other is a clean cut Northerner. They're sent into a small Mississippi town to find out what happened. What they uncover isn't just a crime; it's a culture of racism, a deeply rooted system that's not hiding in the shadows. It's out in broad daylight, standing in the open, smiling in church, wearing sheriff's badges, and they have to deal with the systemic racism as well as trying to find out who killed the civil rights workers. So let's talk about the movie first. First, talking about some of the themes. What makes the film so devastating is that it doesn't treat racism as a few bad apples in a bunch. It shows it as baked in. This is systemic from the beginning. These are ordinary people. They're, the mayors, the deputies, the store clerks, the preachers. They're either participating in or they're passively supporting a system that burns churches, that terrorizes families, that kills activists, all while keeping a polite smile on. There's these scenes of interviews with regular people about what do they think that this that the excuse me that the guys are the area the Mississippi is racist, that people should have be punished for what they've done, and a lot of them say, eh, it's okay, or it's fine, uh, that it's not that bad is kind of what they say. And you kind of think about it from today's perspective. Systemic racism isn't done; it's still out there today, and this is an uncomfortable truth for a lot of people. Um, we're seeing this every day, not just with African Americans, which this movie obviously is more geared about, but we're seeing it with refugees. We're seeing it with people from other countries, and other religions and other um, uh, even um, um, whether it's Asian or African or Eastern European or anything else. People don't seem to be viewed the same way anymore. There's a systemic racism problem. Um, so Alan Parker's direction sometimes leans into exaggeration, um, exaggerating certain things for dramatic effect. Honestly, that's part of the point. It isn't meant to be a subtle nudge. This movie isn't. It's a punch in the mouth. Sadly, even decades later, it's impossible not to see the modern echoes of in the story that I just talked about, the systemic racism that still continues today in our school systems, in our government, in our um, municipalities, everywhere. There seems to be some issues that are still racist inherently. Get back to that in a second. Let's talk about some of the performances. Gene Hackman is phenomenal here. He plays Agent Rupert Anderson, who's a former Mississippi cop turned FBI agent. He isn't afraid to push back against evil in the only language that he seems to understand how to do it, which is direct action. He's the kind of character that kind of makes you root for him because he's going to stand up to the tide of hate, not with speeches, but with force. He wants to attack violence with violence in some cases. He's kind of a ruthless cop that wants to do the right thing, that he has the right intentions, but he goes about it in pretty um, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, I can't think of the word right now, but in some ways that are unorthodox. That's the word I was trying to look for. In some unorthodox ways. Um, so you really root for him because he gives the racist people the feeling that you want that to do from sitting on the couch. You want to punch these guys, and so he's going to punch them for you. And so it's really satisfying to watch. He's also so done with the racism that he's seen all his life being a Mississippi cop, and he wants to put it in its place. Um, and so he's just really, really good in that role. Willem Dafoe plays the other FBI agent, Agent Ward. He's the perfect foil to Gene Hackman's character. He's methodical, he's procedural, he's increasingly shaken by how useless the rule book becomes when the system is this corrupt. There, comes from the northern part of the country, and he hasn't really seen this kind of racism firsthand, I should say, and so he's kind of tough with that. And he's really good as well. He's, like I said, the perfect foil. Their dynamic, Hackman and Defoe, isn't just good; it's essential. You need both of them to tell the story. Um, and they get into some arguments. They get into some fights over how to best handle this case because they both are coming. They're coming from wildly different perspectives. Then, lastly, there's Frances McDormand. She plays the wife of a racist deputy. She's quiet, resigned, and she's slowly waking up to the horror that she's been involved in. Her role isn't big, but it's massive in impact. Every line, every glance carries a lot of weight. Her fear is real. Her courage, when it finally comes through, when she decides to stand up and tell her husband and tell her the other people in the town and tell the cops uh, of the things that are going on. It's really it's one of the film's only true acts of rebellion, and it's really really great to watch. And you fear for her because of what the power and the courage that she's shown. The cinematography in this movie is also fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's stunning. It's not in a postcard kind of way. We're not showing the glamorous side of Mississippi here. It's not romanticized in any way. It's hot. It's heavy. It's oppressive. You feel the weight of it. The wide open fields feel more like cages in the movie, and quiet streets feel like traps. The nighttime scenes are haunting. There's Klan members moving like ghosts through the dark, burning homes in silence. The flames reflecting off terrified eyes. It plays like a horror movie, and that's honestly exactly what this movie is. It's a real, true to life horror movie. So what sets this movie apart? What it refuses to do, thankfully, is give you a clean, satisfying ending. Because it doesn't say that this racism started and then it ended. That's not what it's saying, because it says that the FBI gets some of the bad guys and public opinion shifts in some areas, but the machinery of hate is still out there. And so it's untouched. The justice that we get feels more like a bandage than a real cure. And that's important because, like I've said several times, the systemic racism still exists. And so it's not going to give you that tidy ending that says, oh, the racism is all done, because it's still out there and it still exists. The film does leave you with something, though. It's a moment of human connection. There's a funeral scene at the end where black and white mourners together are singing together. It's tiny, it's fragile, but it's real. Um, Final thoughts about Mississippi Burning. It's not an easy film. It shouldn't be. It forces you to look at an America that a lot of people want to pretend never existed. And then it quietly reminds you of the parts that still do exist. Um, the performances in this movie are extraordinary. The direction is uncompromising. The impact is lasting. You are going to think about this movie several days after you watch it. This is one of those rare films that doesn't just stick with you; it gnaws at you. It makes you think back to some of the horrible things that you've seen in this movie and remember that these things actually happen in real life. Okay, so what grade am I going to give Mississippi Burning? I'm going to give it an A. It's not quite perfect. It sparked fair debates about its accuracy and perspective, but as a piece of filmmaking, as a statement, as an experience, it's haunting, it's furious, and it's unforgettable. So, what did you think of Mississippi Burning? Have you seen it? Did it hit you as hard as it hit me? Let me know in the comments. Um, like, subscribe, comments, engage with me. Let me know what movies you want me to review. Remember, some stories are hard to watch, but in this case, they're harder to ignore and they're important to watch. So, thanks everyone, and see you next time.